Shalom, shalom, shalom lekulam, and Shavua Tov. Welcome once again to our limud. My voice is not as clear as you know it before, so but the best of Hashem, we will manage. We'll manage to learn. We learn halacha, all halachot before we get to our limud. Halacha according to Ben Shchai. We are at the end of Parashat Vayera. Yeah, Vayera, we have been dealing with all the halachot under that Parasha. We are now going to deal with all the last one that we are going to learn. Is halacha kaf vav. What a very significant number. Look at it. Halacha. What did we deal with last week? Just to refresh our mind. To get you oriented to the idea of the halacha and the sequence of the idea of halacha. Halacha kaf hey speaks about the position of your bed in your bedroom, where you all the couple meet, where they make babies, where they perform their marital duties. The Torah, meaning the halacha, does not leave any Jewish life, any Jew, young and old, weak or strong, to his own device or to the device of his own mind. To say this is right, this is wrong. No. Halacha, or the Torah, or HaKadosh Baruch Hu, given the Torah, is not about, or is not subject to our own personal interpretations of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu requires from us. As Rabbi Akiva, in his limud, the introductions of Mishneh Torah by Rambam, we have learned that through times the transmission of Torah has been passed from one generation to another, from a son, from a father to a son, from Moshe to Joshua and so forth until it reaches us.
Basically, last week,
like now, not like now. All the rabbis that you see in the world, all the Torah Chacham that you see in the world, they must have been received the tradition either from the father or from the Chachamim or a Chacham who has taught him. He received the smicha or the tradition from his own rabbi, like myself and all others. I received the tradition from my master, Rabbi Pinchas. I keep still on learning under him. And this has been a tradition in the Jewish world, or in the nation of Israel. It's a tradition. It's a Mesorah, way from Moshe Rabbeinu to this very day and to the future. It's not the device. It's not a device of another man's mind that we come up with interpretation of the passage of the Torah and we devise or we come up with the halacha. No, it's not. So therefore, there is nothing in this life or in this corridor, in the language of the Chazal, the sages, there is nothing in this corridor that has never been and has never been addressed by the sages in halacha. Everything has been addressed. It's my weaknesses, or it could be your weaknesses. If you fail not to see it, it's not the weakness of the Chazal. So our world is not left to its own devices. Our world has got laws, divine laws, that you and I, whether you are a Jew or you are not a Jew, you should know these laws. It's not about like we are hearing in this world that no, the Bible, others are calling it the Bible. The Bible is only there to address spiritual matters about the government, about politics, about science, about social orders, about anything in this life. Those are not addressed in the Bible. It's a lie. It's a lie. Wherever you find in the Torah, or the Torah speaks about the kingdom, rest be assured that you are dealing with the national affairs, dealing with public money, public resources, you name it. So it is not then possible that the Torah, or which you call the Bible, is only limited to temple services and all those and other things. No. So even your own personal life, whether you are married or not married, and whatever occupation that you find yourself, rest be assured that in that very occupation, every aspect of that occupation, every matter, everything about that that discipline is addressed in the Torah. It's your limitations not to see it, and your ignorance. Mind my language, but it's reality. Where we are so ignorant is where we blame others, and it's where we become defensive to our own, to defend our weaknesses, because I do not understand that thing, or because I'm not attuned to that thing. So I call it a name and I've got so much excuses to make. But be as it may, yes, some of us were there too. Until we find a way to look and to search for really a meaningful life, because nothing in this world, in the world of many, that for example, if you ever got a bicycle, if you ever got a watch, if you ever got a cell phone, if you ever got a clothing, everything must have been designed by somebody. And there is any instruction called the manuals, how to operate that thing, going contrary to what has been said by the designer. It would be a catastrophe. It will be detrimental to your own well-being, to this community, to family, community, nations where you are, and ultimately to the world. Having a little bit dilated all this, all expanded on this introduction, just for a mere purpose, not just mere. It is for that purpose to make emphasis that going away far from what the Torah is saying, you are in fact inviting the opposite. What are these opposites? In the justice system that we are going to deal with in our main limud, we see that the nations were also given the right, not the right, yes, the right, the obligation to establish the justice system. And when you look at the justice system, everything that you see in the justice system of nations, much more is just copy and paste of the Torah, particularly the Talmud. And if they have cut and pasted the Talmud, dictate and the way of solving problems, certainly you are touching the Mishnah. There is nothing in this world that is not in the Mishnah. Nothing, simply nothing. So, therefore, for example, if a society does not have Mishpatim is translated and rendered as civil law. It's a poor translation of a Hebrew word Mishpatim. Within this body, Mishpatim, the body of laws called Mishpatim, we encounter, as we have learned this morning with Rabbi Pinchas, led us into the world of damages. And we know that the Mishnah, he speaks about the four fathers of damages. They are not three, but four. They are not five, but four. And the reason why, there is a reason why they were made like that. It's not the subject of our discussion today, but just remember, these four damages, anywhere you find a community of people who do not have Mishpatim, meaning the righteous laws. When I said righteous laws, is to repudiate the notion that because we are accustomed to think that the idea of a lengthy person outside there, his idea or her ideas of the will about all about the welfare of a society is what it counts. Who says so? Who says that your own individual and personal idea how a society should be is the right one? Because we have seen nations made laws only to find that in a couple of years to come, those laws are either being repealed, or being simply cancelled. That they are no longer addressing the contemporary issues of the contemporary world. This is not a Torah. The Torah laws do not change. We adapt to, it's us to adapt what is coming to the dictate of the Torah. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who gave us this laws called, the body of laws called Mishpatim, he is the owner of what is called the change. You and I do not cause a change. Just like the expression says, change is the only permanent in the world. Yes, that is the wisdom of nations. But we know change can also be changed. But the laws of the Torah still stand. The word law is not truly a proper reflection of the word mishpatim or mitzvah. Halacha, yes, halacha can change according to the change of time. It can change, but it cannot affect. It cannot affect the mishpatim, the righteous laws. So I have spent much more time on that. We go to halacha. If you have got it, the pages of those halachas, or the pages, both in Ivrit and Anglit, they are in the group. I read it to our hearing, and also because of time, I'll go through it, and I will add the information here and there. It says in Hebrew, אסור לשמש לאור הנר, ואינו מספיק נתנת מחיצה סדנים, של פשתן סביב המיטה. What is he basically saying here is, it is forbidden to have intercourse or marital relationship or relation in a room where a light is burning. And it is even insufficient to hang curtains around the bed. We can see that, as I said, nothing that is being, there is nothing that hasn't been addressed by the Torah. And it was reduced to the level of halacha. What does the word halacha mean? The word halacha is the way you should go, not according to your own personal devices. The way you should go. What is this halacha is saying? Halacha forbid us, not the way we are conditioned by the world today. We will reveal some forces who are truly behind all these things that we are embracing as good for either for you as an individual, good for your family, good for your community, good for the society, under the so-called human right. It's a misconception of the concept of human right and the freedom. It's so much misunderstood. Halakha says, when you have got yehud, when you have got a marital relation, there must be not, the light must be off. There must not be anything that brings light into the room. Nothing. Why? There are so many things here. We will see at the end of this. Let me just read it quickly. And we. אלא צריך שלא יהיה אור הנר מאית בתוך המיטה וכלל ועיקר, וכמו שכתוב רבנו ז"ל בשאר טעמי המצוות. This is another, Ari HaKadosh all, Ben Ish Chai is expounding, making reference to the teaching of his master, Ari HaKadosh, in the book that I have mentioned last week. What is that book? Shara Tameh HaMitzvot. It's a book. I read it to our hearing and very fast. Hawiyan Sham. Okay. As it can be seen there. Okay. ומשלון רבינו ז"ל מוכח הדאים ישן באחיסרדה גדולה או על גג גדול, והנר רחוק מן המיטה ואין מגיע אור למיטה כלל, שהרי אף על פי שהוא רואה בעיניו את הנר דולת, ומה שכתוב הגאון is another reference. He's making a reference to another halachic authority. גאון שלמה כלוגר זר, דאים משמש בכיסור, של סדין גדול, ורחב שרה, אין דבריו מחוברים, וכאשר היא סגתיו בשווה, ואיש אשתו שיש לכם ילד קטן יונק ושני בחדר והצריך להם אור בחדר שלא תוכל להניק בחושך קצר יעשן בשבת שאינו יכול לכבות קודם תשמיש לידריקו אחר קו. Maybe I should end this halacha. Let me go to the translation quickly. The best of my ability. As it is even insufficient to hang curtain around the bed. There are many tendencies that, okay, there is a light in the room. Okay, you are not allowed to have a light on during that action, during that yichud, during that union. So some people would put a linen or a curtain to cover the light. No, it says no. As no light may shine onto the bed at all. The light should not come to the area of the bed. Nevertheless, it can be inferred from the wording that if one sleeps in a large room and the light is insufficient, far away is sufficiently far away that its light does not reach the bed, that one may enjoy conjugal relations even though one can see the light burning. However, the ruling of Gaon that we have just made or referred to in Hebrew text is Shlomo Kluga Zar, that one may cover oneself with a large, thick cover even when a light is burning. It's incorrect. Ben Ish Chai is saying that in itself also it's machloket. It's Ben Ish Chai said that advice to cover yourself during that act with a sheet is incorrect. As I write in my responsum, one should not enjoy relationship with moonlight, even if it is just a moonlight. It's not permitted. onto the bed, although if it
So
is shining
the third,
into another part of the room
yes, the third,
and thereby lighting up the bed, it is
so the
permitted to
third
cover oneself
seder
with a thick cover
of Mishnah
to block out the light in order to
seder
permit intercourse. In other words, it says when there is a little bit of moonlight in the part of the room, yes, you can cover, you can use a mixture, a curtain, or anything to cover that light from shining onto your bed. If moonlight is shining directly onto the bed, and one feels that it is very necessary to enjoy a relationship, and one cannot wait until moonlight moves off the bed, one may also cover oneself with a thick cover in order to have intercourse. It's a straightforward point. Let's go home. We've got only 30 minutes thereafter. When light is required in the bedroom to nurse a child, and on Shabbat, the light may not be moved or turned on or off. Here, the halakha digresses a bit based on the scenario, based on the circumstances. What if it's a nursing mother and it's on Shabbat? Do you need to change the light? Because we have learned in a previous halakha that even if your wife is nursing, you have to give, or you have to fulfill that duty. Whether she's pregnant, whether she's nursing, or she does not bear you children, you are not permitted to deprive, you are not allowed to withdraw from that responsibility, the responsibility of that union. Since you are required, not that you are required, it's a halakha that no light should come. What if it is nursing? Yes, it is exactly in that situation that a nursing mother is not allowed to change the light, or turn the light on or off. No. But halakha continues. I suggest that the light be placed in a recess in the wall, and the doors be fixed to the wall, to be closed before commencing relations. It's a straightforward point. You make provisions where the light does not strike the bed, but and those be fixed to the wall, to be closed before commencing. In other words, it's just like the way I understand it, this halakha, it's just like you placed the light outside of the room, because during the Yehudo relationship you are not allowed to have light in the room. So after the Yehud, you can open the door. You can open not that you open the door, but you can open the door so that if you want the light to come in after the relationship, yes, you will get the light. That is the implication of what I deduce from this halakha. Here in by that, it is an ancient custom that when marrying a virgin, the light is left burning during the first intercourse. Oh, what is a contradiction here now? It looks like this is a contradiction. We learn no light should come in during the relations.
Et le
But
bête
now
a
it is about
des taches.
what? It could be yes. We will see what Ben Shrai is saying. What about now all these things that well the virgin? What does the virgin have to do with the light and so forth? One of my rabbis here just whispered him and said, maybe it's to see the blood
And
and
the final one, the
to
sixth
validate
one,
that it is a
le
true virgin.
sixième,
Yes, that's
c'est dans
one of the possibility. Allah continues, even if the groom is a scholar and a pious man, even if you are a pious or scholar, meaning Torah scholar. What? I once gave a reason for this. Since a woman will not become pregnant from the first intercourse, the punishment described in the Talmud, that once the children will be stricken with leprosy, does not apply. You see, the implication of this very, very, very passage, it tells us that it looks that there is every action during the relationship and immediately before the relationship, it looks that if we go Chash v'Shalom, we go contrary to what Allah dictate. That in itself has got a repercussion, has got a negative effect, Chash v'Shalom, to your descendants. Now the question is, which descendant? Because we have learned in a previous halachot that even if your wife does not give birth, by just having that union, you are creating the neshamot in other worlds. What about the physical one? Yes, both of them, this is my own chidush, both of them may be impaired by your actions. This is why the Chazal are they were so precise, because their understanding is beyond the majority of human beings.
So now he's going to explain.
They were shown
in the specific
into the Torah
order that they
through, of course, through the Masoret. Masoret from Moshe to their time and beyond. So when they say something, it's not truly, it's not from their personal devices. Yes, the children, both physical and those of the spiritual ones that they are creating in a spiritual world, they are all damaged. As you can see here, Ben Shchai talk about punishment described in a Talmud. In my work, Mekabzier, I rule that although one may not usually enjoy relations during the day, it is permitted after daybreak until the earliest time that one put on tefillin. You see, a Jewish person, according to Allah, is not allowed to have marital relations even during the course of the week, except on Shabbat. And on Shabbat, not every time you feel like having it and you get it. No. Allah says after Chatzot. After Chatzot, meaning after Chatzot midnight, then you can have a marital relationship. One of the punishment that Adam Harishon, or one of the transgression that Adam Harishon has committed, is to have a marital relationship at Erev Shabbat. It has a repercussion. One of the many problems we encounter today in this generation, all other generations, we are paying back. We not paying back. We are paying for the damage that was caused by Adam Arishon by having intercourse with his wife at the inappropriate time that was not dictated by halacha. One should make every effort to immerse oneself in a mikvah after intercourse, particularly on Shabbat, in order to receive that sanctity of Shabbat morning with a pure body. That's halacha. You don't just simply after your marital relation and you put on your Shabbat clothes and you go to Beit Knesset and whatever. No, you have to go to the mikveh. You have to go to the mikveh. It's not because maybe I shouldn't go there. Yes, because of time. Hashem, we will continue with the halachot. B'ezras Hashem tomorrow. So we go to our main limud. Our main limud is a continuation of what we have. Okay, I've got 20 minutes still. B'ezras Hashem, we will be able to cover that.
So the reason why, so now
I sent the page is the same page. The same page we had last week.
Why it comes
again.
Which deals with the Yom Tovim, the festivals and Shabbat. Why it comes right afterwards.
What did we learn last week about Yitro? We learned that Yitro and the Moshe, each one of them was a reincarnation of the two sons in history that we have encountered in the Bereshit, particularly chapter 4. Who are these sons? We talk about Cain. Cain being the firstborn. He's a Bachor. In other words, being a Bachor, he was a king. Not that he was a king, he was a Kohen too. Because it was through him we came, for the first time we encountered the concept and the idea of offerings.
Naturally needs to come after Chaim.
And remember that when it comes to the firstborn, it's a big concept when it comes to the firstborn. Very, very, very high concept. So, we know, we have learned now that, last week we have learned that Yitro was a reincarnation of Cain. Whereas Hevel, his brother, was a principle of Moshe. So now, when Yitro came to meet, to meet Moshe, he used the word Ani Achotecha Yitro. Ari HaKadosh said the Rosh Tevot, meaning the initial letters of these three words, they spell the word Achi, brother. In other words, Yitro, who is the father-in-law of Moshe, he was hinting to Moshe that, look, I am your brother. Meaning what? I'm Cain. And you are Hevel. And as I said, we see also that the name Hevel is also hidden in the name Moshe. So we continue where we have left off. It reads as follows. Alfi שכפר קין בדנין, ואמר ללית דין ולעת דין, אמר אתי בא אליך,
נשים.
רוצה לומר, לתקן וחדש פרשת הדין, שהיא פרשת ואתה תחזה כמו שמבואר בפי שמות. What is he saying here? Because Cain repudiated the principle of justice, saying there's no justice and no judge. But where do we find this? Where do we find this mentioned? It's exactly in a Midrash Rabbah, Bereshit Rabbah, chapter 26, and Mishnah, in the Mishnah, Vav. I sent the page. You will see.
And so therefore, and then
you will see there
come after that.
At the end of that page that I'm about to send now, that you have got one Tana quoting exactly that. Why is it that attributed to Cain? Why would Cain come up with a mind? The mind said that there is no judgment and there is no judge. Okay, having that in let's to continue with the translation. There is no justice and there is no judge. He now said he was coming to Cain, who is now Jethro, who is personifying Cain because he's a reincarnation of Cain. He said, I am coming to do what? According to Ari Kadosh, he said, in order to rectify this. What is this? The very same statement. No justice and no judge. The statement seems, according to Midrash Rabbah, to have been attributed, have made by Cain. And indeed, he is responsible for innovating the institution of a judicial system, as well as we have explained elsewhere. Ari Kadosh is saying, we have explained somewhere there in our teaching, meaning in one of our books, not in our books, yes, of course, it's our books now. In one of his books, Ari Kadosh expounded on this idea that because he said that, Cain said that in a previous life, he has to rectify, he has to fix that. He has to fix the concept of there is no justice and there is no judge. Just as we are now doing in the so-called countries, as we are doing in any places, whether it's in public or it's in privacy, we always think that there is no judge. Because we are conditioned only to see the judge with a black or a black coat or a red coat or yellow coat, whatever it is. But we forget one thing, that the one who created this world did not leave it without laws. He put laws in place to avoid you and I to get influenced by entities. What are these entities? These are the entities that Rabbi Pinchas taught this morning. What are these entities? For a vote of זקנים. No. נזיקים. תודה רבה צדיק. When I'm in height, yes, damages. So, in the absence of the divine laws that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to us, so then we are making use of these damages. These damages are not simply that any damage that you see, you don't see the damage. You only see the effect of the damage. But the entities that are causing the damages, you don't see them, but they are at loose. I go to. Okay, I've got 10 minutes. Still 10 minutes, נכון? ומצינו גם כאן, שנקרא כהן מדיין, לפי שהיה ראש המדין, כשהיה בחינת קין, בסוד, ויקם קין על הבל אחיו. Jethro was called the priest of Midian because he was the first contender in history when he was Cain, as it is said, and the Cain rose against his brother Hevel. It looks, gentlemen, that every action that we make in this world, if we are going contrary to the divine laws, Mishpatim, it looks that you are causing damages because you are the one who is letting the damages at loose. So in other words, you will be brought back to fix what you have damaged. So Yethro, who is in the aspect of Cain, the Gilgul of Cain, who said that there's no justice system, or there's no justice and there's no judge. He is brought back to fix that statement. So in other words, it's not only about what you do, but it's also about what you say. You have to be brought back here to fix what you have said. Ariakadosh continues. וחזר בקורח, ולזה לקח מחרה לעצמו, ונתלבש בו נפש קין. Wait a second. He was returned as Korach again. It appears Ariakadosh here is giving us the aspect of Korach. He shifted a little bit from Yitro to Korach, and he says, he quoted what the Torah is saying. Ariakadosh says he was returned in Korach, meaning Cain came also in the aspect of Korach. How so? Who took a better portion for himself, meaning that the soul of Cain became vested in him. In other words, the soul, a better part of Cain came into Korach. How do we know that? Let's see what Ariakadosh he really wants to prove to us. וכנגד כל דמי אחיך צועקים אלי מן האדמה, ולזה וילדו הם וכל אשר להם חיים שעולה הצועקים ואומרים משה אמת ותורתו אמת ואנחנו בדואים. Wait a second. Ariakatos is saying, just as the voice of your brother's blood is calling out to me from the ground, but which ground? Because in Sefer Yetzirah, we do have got Adamot. Now, which one? 7 of them. Which one? I don't know. But let's go according to Ariakadosh's teaching. They and all they possess descendants alive into the pit, screaming, Moshe is true and the Torah is true, and we are imposters. Wait a second. Many in history have repudiated the validity of Torah, and they have withdrawn the Mishpatim, the body called the Mishpatim, from their own life. And they say, God did not dictate this, this is human. It's a lie. It's a lie. And why would Ari Kadosh bring this aspect? And that is where I'm going to end. Why did Ari Kadosh shift it from Yitro, and now he is dealing with Korach? Who was Korach? Korach is also from the tribe of Levi. He's a brothers with Moshe. But it looks that the condition that have started between Cain and Hevel, we see it being refaces again at this very time. Korach also contended with Moshe, just as Cain also rose up against his brother. We see the pattern being repeated. This tells me, in my little mind, or not a little mind, in my little corner, this tells me that in life, unless you come to the Torah, you will always be either perplexed or confused or worried or afraid or concerned about what is going on in this world.
I'll transmit your questions to Rabbi Pinchas, and I'll be in contact with you.
Ari Kadosh is bringing us to a point that many aspects of those who preceded in history of man, they incarnate in this world to fix the damage that was initially done. You could be one of them. I could be one of them, that I am required to fix something that was damaged. I do not know, but it's only through Torah study that I will be able to understand things. Finally, as 2 minutes left, I look at the man called Korah, and how he managed to convince so a group of Torah Chacham to be on his side. Only at the end they realized that they were all imposters. How much more when we follow in our world, in our generation, we follow ideas that we do not know where exactly they emanate from. We follow ideas, systems that we do not know where they come from. And certainly, if they are not rooted in the Torah, it's unfortunate that their followers, the adherent of these ideas, of these philosophies, or that philosophies, at the end of the tunnel, they will find themselves in the same way. These people, the followers of Korach, found themselves that they are imposters. Dear friend, you were caught up in a religious ideas that you do not know where they come from. Political jungles or political junks that you don't know where they are rooted from. The Torah has got a standard in the body called the Mishpatim and the others that the Creator has given it to us as man to follow. He did not leave us to depend to the devices of our own whims. But we follow the idea of the so-called lengthy person, the so-called lengthy philosopher, the so-called lengthy economist, the so eloquent politicians. When he speaks, everybody is saying hallelujah. The functionality that was, for example, in Africa a few days ago, how many of us we were crawling, even we paid a lot of money that we are unable even to feed our kids, our families. But we went to meet him. Man, are we not going to find ourselves imposters like them? The group of Korah. Thank you very much, dear friends. I hope to. Okay. What is this question? I think it's in the French, Nachon. Okay. Shalom, Rabbi Elnatan. I guess this means no relationship during the day, even if it has no light. Okay, he's addressing the halakha. By extension, does this mean no kissing? All other forms of intimacy in the light? To the best of my ability, I'm now surrounded. Okay. Even if the room has windows, but no light shining through. Okay. To the best of my ability, I'm surrounded even in my fellow Rabbanim here. They will assist me where I may not be able to address, or I would fail to address, not intentionally. I'll try my level best. Number one, the Torah address all requires to have modesty, to cultivate modesty in our lives. I wanted to approach this question from a different angle. The sages, halakha, tells us that I am not even allowed to see an animal into their instinct actions, meaning whenever they perform their natural orders, I am not allowed to see them. How much more of that of a human being? And again, I have learned from my master, Rabbi Pinchas, taught us you are not even allowed to look at the private part of one of the either. Again, modesty. Again, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Why, for example, I'm not, for example, allowed to walk behind my wife or behind any woman? Modesty required, but it goes beyond that. Ben Ishchai, he speaks about 4 mothers of the other side who are controlling this so-called immodesty. And these are the people, these are the entities that ruins us. Yes, they are also present during Yehud at the undesignated time. When Allah says, you do it at this day, at this particular time, it's for your protection. If you do it contrary to what the Allah says, you are inviting them. Why? Because they are always present. They are waiting for that August time, not August time, at their convenient time where you will fail. Chash v'shalom, that you fail. When you fail to obey the basic halacha, you give them opportunity to come in. That's why the halacha at the end, Ben Ishchai says, if you do it, there is a punishment. A punishment to be meted out to the transgressor. And he did not only end there. He went on to say, it has got effect to your kid, to your offspring, that you will, God willing, that you will father, or that you will give birth to. There's a repercussion. Rabbani, is there anyone with anything to that question? Yes, please. Rabbi Zohar.
If the question, he said, if are you allowed to see stars, anything like that? It's such a discreet moment, because this is also a time of building your wife. It's also a time that it's also a time you bring Shefa down as well, because your Mochim is coming down.
Yes.
So it has to be done in the Hoshea, because the Otiot are coming, or Hoshea.
Yes.
Right. So when they come, they have to be in the aspect of Hoshea, no light and everything like that.
Yes.
So no TV, no movies, no stranger pictures in your mind. It should just be, and this is also actually when you are truly one with your wife.
Good.
In that moment alone, because it's just you. There's
Yes.
not her face, her shape. It's just you and her.
Yes. You see, there is what is called public. For example, you are not allowed to study Torah in open in public, because the why we are, perhaps it's a long story, but I give you just a brief. When we're talking about the breaking of vessels, this has got also to do with the aspect of Yehud. That the transaction must be confined, and they should not be in the light, because doing it in the light is just like you are doing it in public. That is why I could answer the question, because I did elaborate at the very, very beginning of the introduction, before I touched halacha kaf vav. We are conditioned to take things, to have things, and to embrace them as an acceptable norm, either for an individual, or for a family, or for a society. And I did say, who says the mind of so, and this and that is good for the society? Because Hakadosh Baruch Hu did not create this world and leave it to its own device or natural orders. There's law, there are laws to be obeyed by men in order, because we are in the world of Tikkun. If you wanted to fix the world, we have to go according to the halakha. I hope I did answer your question. But if there is any, or if it is not clear, please do not hesitate to send to send me your question. Bezrat Hashem, we will revert back to you. Once again, thank you very much. I'm out of time now. Thank you very much for affording me this platform. Well, not only this platform, but your time to share with you, to learn with you. Hope to see you, Bezrat Hashem, tomorrow. Baruch Adonai leolam. Amen ve'amen. Okay.
Amen, amen.